I would like to say again that measures such as imposing import fees and levying tariffs on cargo handling facilities hurt the U.S. itself as well as others. The move not only hikes global maritime shipping costs and disrupts the stability of global industrial supply chains, but also increases inflationary pressures in the U.S. and hurts the interests of American consumers and businesses. The practice will ultimately fail to revitalize the U.S. shipbuilding industry. We urge the U.S. to respect facts and multilateral rules and immediately stop its wrongdoing. China will take necessary measures to defend its lawful rights and interests.
China has strongly criticized the United States over the Trump administration's plan to impose hefty fees on Chinese-linked vessels docking at American ports. Beijing labeled the move as harmful to global trade and warned of retaliatory measures.
I would like to say again that measures such as imposing import fees and levying tariffs on cargo handling facilities hurt the U.S. itself as well as others. The move not only hikes global maritime shipping costs and disrupts the stability of global industrial supply chains, but also increases inflationary pressures in the U.S. and hurts the interests of American consumers and businesses. The practice will ultimately fail to revitalize the U.S. shipbuilding industry. We urge the U.S. to respect facts and multilateral rules and immediately stop its wrongdoing. China will take necessary measures to defend its lawful rights and interests.
Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian said the US tariffs would drive up global shipping costs, disrupt the stability of global production and supply chains, and fail to revitalize the US shipbuilding industry. Lin urged Washington to respect facts and multilateral rules and to immediately stop wrongful practices. A statement released by the ministry and cited by Reuters added that China will take necessary measures to defend lawful rights and interests. The US Trade Representative unveiled a proposal to levy fees on all Chinese-built or Chinese-owned ships docking at American ports. The fees will be based on the volume of goods transported by each vessel. This latest move follows a months-long investigation, initially launched under the Biden administration, into whether China's dominance in global shipbuilding poses a risk to US national security. Initial drafts of the proposal had suggested imposing fees of up to $1.5 million per port call for Chinese-built ships. The February proposal sparked alarm across the shipping sector and was subsequently revised. The final notice, posted in the Federal Register, features lower fees, but still targets vessels constructed or owned by Chinese companies.
Horrendous imbalances have devastated our industrial base and put our national security at risk. I don't blame these other countries at all for this calamity. I blame former presidents and past leaders who weren't doing their job. They let it happen, and they let it happen to an extent that nobody can even believe.
US Trade Representative Jameson Greer defended the measure, stating, "Ships and shipping are vital to American economic security and the free flow of commerce. The Trump administration's actions will begin to reverse Chinese dominance, address threats to the US supply chain, and send a demand signal for US-built ships." Greer emphasized that the fees are part of a broader strategy to revitalize domestic shipbuilding and reduce reliance on foreign-built vessels, particularly those linked to strategic competitors. The imposition of new maritime fees adds a fresh layer of tension to the ongoing US-China trade dispute. China has already faced a series of tariffs on exports, and Friday's announcement compounds fears of further economic decoupling between the two countries. Despite the escalation, President Trump struck a cautiously optimistic tone. Speaking earlier in the day, he confirmed that Washington and Beijing were engaged in discussions. "Yeah, we're talking to China. I would say they have reached out a number of times," he told AFP. He added that he was confident a deal could eventually be reached. The global shipping industry is closely watching developments, as any disruption to Chinese port activity or retaliatory tariffs could result in increased costs and delays. China remains one of the largest builders of commercial vessels, and many global trade routes depend on Chinese manufacturing and logistical capacity. Analysts warn that the Trump administration's actions could significantly alter long-established maritime patterns and introduce further volatility into an already strained global supply chain.